Hey there, Mr. Nelson here for Industrial Technology. We are working on our secret box. So here is my secret box right now. I've got my bottom installed. I have my two supports there for my secret bottom that goes in there. I have my sides all put on there. But the thing that I notice is I've got a lot of pencil marks on here for where I was marking out for where my nails go, and then also underneath here. And it's sort of rough along the edges. So today, what we're going to talk about is sanding up the box. So let's work on doing some sanding on here before we start moving into the next phase. So I'm going to tilt the camera down a little bit so you can see me on the sanding here. Oh, nothing like some nice satisfying sanding. So I have my box here. Here's my sandpaper that I have from my project. So I didn't use a whole lot of sandpaper on my saw and on my device holder, my Chromebook holder, but I do have these pieces left over. Remember, I showed you how to fold these in thirds to be able to use this. And so this is a sheet of 120, and that's what I want to start with is 120 sandpaper on this. So I just sort of want to start by, first off, remember I put those X's on the top there for when I was marking where I want my support pieces to go. So the first thing I want to do is just come here. And remember, when you're sanding, you always want to sand with the grain of the wood. So sanding that up nice and smooth. While I'm doing that, I'm also going to be hitting these corners a little bit too. Again, I don't know if you noticed, but here I am in the shop. I do have my safety glasses on. Always have your safety glasses on when you're doing this. Also, make sure you're not doing this someplace where it's going to be a big mess in your house. Either have something underneath here, some paper, something like that, or be able to be in a place where you can work like this. Or just make sure, if you're doing this on a nice table, make sure you put something down on top of the table so you're not scratching it. Because you do have maybe some of these nails that are coming down there. You want to make sure you're not scratching your parents' nice table up with. All right, so let's get this X sanded off here. And I'm just going to sand the whole distance here. Why not? Since I'm sanding, let's sand. Again, like I said, I'm sanding with the grain, the direction of the grain. Now I'm going to sand these corners. So these are nice and smooth. And since I'm working on the top, let's get this sanded up nicely. Making sure that that's nice and broken over. Let's sand this side over. There we go. Now we have these pieces that I got to sand off. And from taking a look at this, can you tell which way the grain goes? This way? No. This way? No. This way. Yeah, so I want all my sanding to go back and forth this way. Not in a circle, not up and down like that, across like this. So I'm going to come over here and sand these off. And since I used a pencil, they come off fairly easily. You do have to spend some time sanding it. And I also have some sort of dirt over here. So I'm going to flip this over. It's a little hard. So I have some dirt over here of some sort. I'm going to sand that off too. There we go. That looks good. Oh, nothing like some satisfying sanding. This is a good time to, if you're a music fan, to put on some nice music to listen to. Because you're going to be doing this for a while. To get this done right, you're going to be doing this for a while. All right, so that's pretty good on that side. Now the next, I'm not going to show you this one because you get the point. The next thing that I want to do is sand these. These stick up just a little bit. Remember, the grain's going this way. So I want to come across here like this. And I want to sand these all nice and flush. So I'm actually going to turn it this way. I'm going to sand this so it's all nice and flush, all hand sanded. I'm getting a lot of friction there. That's good exercise for my arm. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, before I'm done with this one, again, I want to break this edge. So I've sanded that nice and flush. I've sanded this good. A little bit more there. Last thing I want to do is just come on the edge here and break that so it's nice and smooth. And oh, that feels nice. So I've sanded up this side right here. I've sanded up this face. I've sanded up the top here. Next thing I'm going to do is sand this side, finish sanding out these edges right here, and then sand these bottom parts off right here. So once I finish with that, I'm just going to do my finish sanding today just with 120. That's all I'm going to sand with today is just 120 to get everything down there smooth. And see all that dust I created just in that little bit of sanding? So make sure you're doing this at a place in your house where you can clean up afterwards. Make sure you're cleaning up afterwards. Now, this is going to take some time for you to do all this sanding on here, but you have the time to do it today, and you'll be doing some sanding throughout next week to get this nice and smooth, and then we'll start working on our top piece. So that is how you sand up your project right there. All right? All right. Get some sandpaper and get sanding.